would like to introduce our judge, our arbitrator, Alexei Byrdin, director of the Internet-Video Association. In the green corner, we see Irina Prokofyeva, representing Cinema Star company, one of the most professional poker of Russian Federation. Well, we're not really saying that someone is green, someone is red. That doesn't mean anything. You can choose whatever color you prefer. Victor Rudman, Director General of St. Petersburg, of what used to be St. Petersburg chain and of what is now Federal Chain Cinema Group, which used to be Mirage Scinema, one of the most dynamically developing movie chain in the country. And, well, Alexei, the arbitrator. So the arbitrator puts questions, our distinguished experts are answering. I think that one of the experts, I presume that one of the experts will agree, the other will disagree, there will be some kind of discussion, and you will participate as well. You have green and red pieces of paper, and I would like to see then what do you think, right? Whether you like or dislike the expressions of our distinguished participants. So, Alexei, please, the floor is yours. Yes, our mics are working. Good morning, everyone. I see that people are trying to warm up. Yes, it's quite chilly here, and we'll do some, exercises. We'll have to move a little bit here. You see red and green colors here. So we don't use any digital stuff here. It's quite simple. 2 pieces of paper. If you feel that something that one of our journalists is saying is close to you, please raise your hand with the relevant color. I would like to thank Oleg for the presentation, for his kind words. I personally hold my debate. I personally formulated our today's debate about in the question, who are our screening partners? Are those our allies or our enemies? And how can we live together? Right now, let's think whether we are partners, competitors, or just two sides suffering together. Let's try to decide that, and we start with Irina. I think that online cinemas are competitors for regular and traditional cinemas. We can't be allies, not a chance. For now, the difference between online streaming and traditional movie streaming is minimal, and we can't even stand that any longer. We clearly understand how much does movie screening cost, and we understand how big the expenses are. Online cinemas almost do not cost anything. And when I see the figures that 80% of the content goes online, I feel terribly sad, because that's not normal, right? It's not 50-50, it's 80-20. But, well, the expenses of online cinemas cannot even be compared with the expenses that traditional movie theaters have to deal with. With quite simple calculations, we can understand how bad these online cinemas are for traditional movies. Well, everyone can understand that you can easily pay 100 rubles or 99 rubles to watch the movie online during the whole day, and this person will never go back to a traditional movie theater. Small note, the moment when a big company or one single person or a couple gets an opportunity of paying 99 rubles for watching a movie, usually this is quite an outdated movie already. Usually this happens 6 months after this movie went through movie theaters. Please write that down. Good morning, everyone. Don't be shy, please. Raise your hands with your pieces of paper. I believe that both online cinemas and regular cinemas sell basically the same product. And this is intellectual property product, right? And this intellectual property has its owner, right? I have quite a different point of view in comparison with Irina. I see movie theater as a place to go out. I mean, screening itself, the process of watching of a movie, it could be not that important as the process of going out. Of course, there are some movies that could be easily watched at home, but you'll agree with me that there are movies that one will only be watching in movie theater. I think that online cinemas could be our allies. Of course, if those are legitimate and are not pirates, right, and are doing their broadcasting within, complying with all the rules and legislations. Though I'm really voting for a certain period of time that has to pass between the movie theater screening and the uploading of the movie online. We really do need this time window, and we have to agree on that, but the question of whether we could be of use for each other is still open. We have to put that for another discussion. Alright, next question that I would like to ask you. How do you see the audiences of home theaters and movie theaters? Who are those people? Are there any gaps or overlaps? Who are those people? And how do you know that? We have movie theaters in some smaller towns as Orel, for example, or Vologda, and some researches are being made there. I know that the average salary there is about 8,000 or 10,000 rubles. That actually seems to be quite a good money there. And for now, students, everyone, and students especially, choose paying 100 rubles for a subscription or for online cinema, and unfortunately that's the problem we have to work with. Yes, in smaller towns we support online cinemas, but distributors have to develop some strategic, system of distinguishing these two things. There are different movies, as you are saying correctly. There are blockbusters that are some great movies that have to be watched on big screen. But there are large numbers of other movies produced by some independent companies that could be easily watched at home. And in this case, if we don't make a minimal, time window of 3 weeks between, traditional movie screening and online cinema screening, I guess that without this window, we will continue to be competitors. So if I understand you correctly, the average screening period with good capitalization is about 3 weeks, right? Well, of course, if we're talking about equipage, for example, that could last for months. well, Street Life of Pets, for example, it's already the end of September, but it's still there. It's still in the schedule of our chain. Well, I guess that in best case, the Secret Life of Pets will be online somewhere in November. No, that's Universal. That's not Fox. All right. Well, that doesn't really matter. Fox doesn't like dogs or pets.
Piracy online, it's not for today, this is for tomorrow. How online the cinemas protect their content against piracy? I have the information that there's a leak of content towards pirates. I support, I see. A referee has taken a punch now. According to DRM, the demands are very strict to protect online content. It is controlled by right owners, but shall not we forget that you have the right of the first night. If this is not a piracy on the post-production stage. I remember, was it about Expendables 2 or others? Anyway, you have the right of the first wedding night. Cinemas will preserve this right, especially when first screening date are synchronized around the world. It is not possible to receive not a screen rip, but a DVD rip is possible only when the screening is over. We don't have this first right anymore, but you still preserve your right for the second wedding night. There is a well-known situation when studios published their movies on every platform, in cinemas and digital. Hollywood studios and Russian studios. You're talking about Geography Teacher. Yes, I'm talking about this movie. It was screened on all platforms at the same time, but I don't think the impact was very large, because the audience is yet to be acquainted with this. It will not harm cinema theaters. It will actually harm cinema theaters. Another quick question. There is a myth. When a pirated movie goes online, it boosts the virus effect and helps the screening. Is it a myth or a reality? Could you please reiterate your question? Some say that when a movie goes online while it is still screening, increases the box office. First, it depends on the quality of the movie. Second, it depends on the quality of the pirate version. If it's a bad pirate version, but the movie is good, maybe it could be considered as a positive momentum. For those who saw the beginning of the pirate version and he thinks that the movie is good, it will come back. If not, it will kill the screening. I will re-articulate my question after your permission. Bad pirate copies, whether it's a substitute for cinema critics, it is a civilized way of spreading information. I have the second question. If it is positive, let's give an opportunity for online cinemas to screen the movie before an official screening in cinema theaters, if you consider it is an attractive. Now, I'm not an advocate for piracy, far from that. While the movie is screened, we had many cases when good movies were uploaded on pirate websites, but still they gathered a good box office. With the Survivor, isn't it? Yes, and many other colleagues. It's freezing cold here. You should warm you up by raising your cards up and high. There is a statistical data to this purpose. Another question related to the previous one. If you consider online cinemas as a competitors, as a sabotage actors, what do you think about DVD market and its former influence to the screening? What was your position? Even now, the delay between screening and DVD publishing is very important. We as conventional cinema theaters are not against online cinema, but we should develop a strategy between distributors and online cinemas in order to enlarge this delay. And the minimum delay between official screening and online screening was 5 days. We were able to have only 1 weekend without online screening. In cities with more than 1 million inhabitants, we cannot feel it. I see that you are largely supported by the whole. Thank you very much. I thank our audience. But in the small towns with several thousand inhabitants, this is important. I would like to highlight that this delay between conventional screening and online screening is fixed not by us, but right owners. Yes, of course, I don't want to say that we want longer delay. We would like to have shorter delay, of course, but I know that they can discuss this issue with conventional cinemas in order to find this golden point between conventional screening and online screening, in order to give an opportunity for the movie to show its best in conventional cinemas and then to show its best in online cinemas. And our worst enemy are the pirates, who just don't care about this delay, about rights and so on and so forth. They just upload and that's it. Since we have the same position with the opponent as far as this window between screenings is concerned, I would like to add that we are the members of a unique industry. What we do is we sell movie content or video content. We sell intellectual property rights with their respective owners. We should have this dialogue with a right owner, because he or she should understand that selling a product by piece is more beneficial than selling products in bulk. This delay means that you sell your product piece by piece. You sell your movie to a theater, and then you sell your movie to an online cinema. This is why I think that this parallel attachment will be more than decent, because this delay is not artificial. the rules were created during several years. We have different services, we have different platforms saying that you should saying to the right or to the right owner that will be more beneficial to you to say in bulk, but the right owner shall understand that this window of opportunities is important because he sells in movie theaters, then in online cinemas, and then to TV chains. Cinemas will always have their market share because this is the way to go out. Unfortunately, our time limits are very tough. Can I ask another question? How online cinemas are protected against piracy? What do you mean protected? There's a leak of the content from online cinemas to pirates. We as conventional cinemas, we are responsible towards right owners. We can lose our content, but online cinema buys a right to screen a movie. How you protect yourself against pirates? What is your responsibility towards right owner? You mean in case of? I don't have an answer. Truly, no, I don't have an answer. I understand the audience reaction, but it doesn't mean that this system is not in place. We suffer from the piracy even more than you, because we are living at the same ecosystem with the pirates. I mean, the internet. You are living in the different ecosystem. And I had this rough question to you. What's your position on screening room project? I think we are all aware about screening room. Screening room is an evil and screening room is a future. I heard the right answer, indeed. We should maintain this delay because it is beneficial for every stakeholder. If the price is so important that this is only the way to make money on those who like watching movies at home, regardless the price. As far as I know, screening room is a possibility, is a service that offers you a possibility to see new movies via a well-protected channel, but it costs 3 to 4 times more expensive compared to a conventional cinema ticket. One way or another, say it to me, is it an evil or a good thing? It's a neutral situation. I'm roughly against how it could be that watching a movie at home is paid 3 to 4 times more. And I'm not talking to people in the hall who know what's the price for the cinema theater opening. The price is just exorbitant. This is not a secret that all the raw materials are imported from Europe, so you should pay in euros. And now you want to make people pay 3 times more because you pirated it for the very first day. Oh, wait a second. All the risks are evident. You are not taking risks. We are taking risks. Screening rooming is not our service. It's a startup. But I heard rumors. Okay, I understand that you are against. We are running out of time. Really? Let's try to have a look in the future. Let's imagine what will be the movie distribution market in the next 3 to 5 years. Is it a tornado, or is it a valley? Will it grow, or will it stagnate? Will we see money flow from one consumption to another? As soon as the market situation will stabilize in the country, the market will start to grow. There are two things we were hit with. Students used to go 2 to 3 times on the same movie if they liked it. These times, they go only once. During the second week of screening, 60% less viewers has become a reality. This is the first thing. Second thing, why many cinema theaters use promo day? We call it Cinema Monday, Cinema Tuesday, whatsoever. There's an impossibility for the poor people to go to cinemas, paying a minimal fare. So, correct me if I'm wrong, the current economic situation in Russia will not allow serious money redistribution. As far as I know, the same cinema days are in place in Canada or in the US, and this is not related to an income. It's just a marketing feature. It works, of course. To my mind, talking about Russia, I would like to say first, yes, the overall economic situation in the country is worrying, and it is related to an economic situation in general. Now, why now we have a slight increase compared to previous months, I mean in August? Because people are tired of staying at home. They decided that they should, however, go to the cinema in order to distract a little bit. We saw that the pitfall in the beginning of the crisis is finished. The situation is getting flatter. The second dimension I would like to mention is as follows. The situation in Russian cinema industry is becoming better. If new Russian projects, new Russian good movies will emerge, we will see new audience, which previously didn't really go to the cinemas. The overall situation about screening will improve.
The last question, and I will not come out from this place until I get an answer to that. The question is whether the representatives of movie community are ready to cooperate somehow with online services. And I'm talking about marketing cooperation or possible co-promotion, PR, some propaganda, some, I don't know, attracting people to movies, come on, fight with piracy. Do you see any need in such ideology, and are you ready to do that in your country? We are working actually with online services, and we are doing that, and it's actually the movie company who is mostly working on the movie promotion. What can we do about that? We hope to promote any given movie with the means of our movie theater. We put, we are screening trailers endlessly that are even, put the ones that you see before the screening itself. Basically in every movie chain of the country, there is a proper internet platform where we're also advertising movies. We are trying to promote movies in online services. We've been using that for quite a long period of time already. We've been using it, we've been doing that, and so the cooperation could be in the movie promotion, and I'm talking about the movie that are in screening right now. We could also be using online service for promoting some of our services and that our movie theaters are offering, right? So we are giving you trailers and you are giving us promo codes for tickets, right? Well, not really. You also should have some kind of packages, and we could promote that in our movie theaters. I mean, your packages. But that's only possible if there is that, delay window, that period of time that we've been talking about. I have one. All right. Sorry for interrupting you. Up to the realization of the tickets in online services. Oleg, if you answer this single question, our technical work is developing. What's the initial price of one laser projection? And I'm talking about the prime cost, not the ultimate cost, right? It's about 300,000 if we're talking about some real high quality projector. Well, that might be also a combination of laser phosphor. 300,000 of what? 300,000 of money bills. When at the very beginning of it, people were asking me about the price, and I was telling them like 100,000. They were like, 100,000 of what? And I was wondering, what do you care whether that's dollars or euros? Do movie theaters buy these projectors from you for 300,000? Well, you know what you do. You're trying to compare your costs with ours. We shan't forget that online cinema is, traditional movie theater market, it's about 10 times bigger than the online movie theater market, right? Let's not make this discussion about, making fun of the party. It's all about money at the end. You might be right, and let's now, dear audience, I would like to see you working as well a little bit. After hearing all the opinions, please raise your pieces of paper. Everyone, please. I want to see your hands. Are you expecting people to raise more red flags then? I don't really care. Alright, so it's quite obvious. It's all green, and the winner is in the green corner, Irina Prokofyeva, please.